Alright, hey guys, so welcome back to another Pokemon Pocket video. As the title states, we'll be going over Hisuian Zoroark EX. Look at this anime edgelord, looking rather menacing. But yeah, this is Hisuian Zoroark EX, HP 150, stage 1. Has 1 attack, Spiteful Illusion, requires 3 colorless energy, 80 base damage. This attack does 20 more damage for each Pokemon in your discard pile. Very similar playstyle to Houndstone. At most, this guy could hit up to 220 damage. So late game can definitely one-shot a ton of Mega EXs. Could very much be an absolute menace. But yeah, this is the deck list right here. I'll show it yet again towards the end of the video. Of course, pairing it with Butterfree, Caterpie, Metapod. I'll talk more about them in the video as well as in the outro. But an amazing grass-type Pokemon line that was added in the recent booster pack, Everyday Wonders. But yeah, looking at this, you ideally want to leave a Caterpie early game, evolve into Butterfree as fast as you can, evolve a second copy of Butterfree on your bench, as well as passively building up Hisuian Zoroark over time. But yeah, if this is your first video on my channel, really would appreciate if you like and subscribe. Really does help me out, especially as a small-time content creator. Also, once again, the footage that you're about to watch was from a recent live stream. I stream regularly every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, so yeah, I would really appreciate it if you guys do tune in. But yeah, without further ado, let's get right in to the deck showcase. All right, first battle. Perfect. Leading with Caterpie. Usually for this deck, you want to lead with Caterpie. If you lead with Hisuian Zoroark, you're basically screwed. All right, perfect. Since we went first, just like this, as you can see, Metapod is out. We can straight up evolve into... Actually, no, we can't. Oh, we are going second. Never mind. Okay. For a second, I thought we were going first. If we went first, we could start attacking just like that. But since this... Technically, this is our first turn, given that we can't evolve. But if you went first, our second turn, we can just evolve into Butterfree. Nevertheless, Caterpie is an amazing card overall. Helps a lot just outspeeding your opponent. For now, just play like this. Okay, opponent evolves into 2 Ursa Rings. You got Klefki right here. Might as well place this guy. This guy's amazing, not only because it helps with discarding your opponent's Poketools, just like this. Opponent's active Poketool is gone. But it also adds on to Hisuian Zoroark EX's overall damage. So at this point, just start feeding Zoroark just like this. Sunny Wind, take our time. This deck requires a lot of patience, I feel like. There's gonna be a lot of battles where it's gonna take you a couple turns, because to maximize damage, you want both Butterfrees to get knocked out, so that you can do 220. Opponent attacks with Ursaluna. Not looking too good, but we have a Caterpie. So we sub this guy in. And this should work. So Caterpie's quick growth works at the end of my opponent's turn. Just like this, Metapod is out, and just like that, we can evolve into Butterfree. At this point, we might as well just feed Zoroark. I'm actually gonna friggin' force and then copycat. This will be amazing if I can pull a Zoroark, please. Zoroark can attack next turn, which will be amazing. Damn, no Zoroark, but we did get Professor. As long as my opponent doesn't Sabrina or Mars, we should be golden. Butterfree is dead. We got Zora. Zora's coming out. Could go absolutely crazy. The main issue is that my opponent has 2 points. I have 0 points. Professor, please give me... You got Quick Grow? Please give me a Zoroark. Okay, this is where we concede. Damn. We have 2 cards left. One of them is a Zoroark. This is a perfect way to start off the video. Just concede and then turn off the game. Okay, once again, leading with Caterpie, this is amazing. But we are going second, which isn't too bad. Especially since we are going up against Wugtrio, so this is perfect. Okay, very straightforward. This attack with Metapod. Next turn, hopefully you can get out of Zoroark. Okay, opponent attacks with Wugtrio. Darkrai, Sableye in the bench. I'm just gonna do this. Once again, please give me the Zoroark. That's all I want. As well as Zoroark. Butterfree, Pokeball, Professor. Okay. So there's a 50% chance that I'll pull a Zoroark this turn. You got Klefki, which could work. I mean, opponent did Poison Barb, so we can definitely just do this. Taking away Poison Barb. But next turn, we better pull a Zoroark, please. Okay, opponent attacks with Wugtrio, feeds Sableye. Darkrai chilling in the bench. We got a PC lady. I'm gonna do this. Professor, please give me a Zoroark. Butterfree might get knocked down next turn, but we did get Zoroark. Perfect, perfect. Quick Grow Extract's pretty much useless at this point. So just do this. In a couple turns, Zoroark should be able to attack. Evolve into the second copy of Butterfree. And this is very straightforward. So yeah, lead with Butterfree. Next turn, sub into second copy. And then eventually sub into Hisuian Zoroark EX. I think another flaw with this deck is that towards the late game, your opponent can get a ton of value with Sabrina. So like after this turn, once his Butterfree gets knocked out, this Butterfree gets into the active. If my opponent Sabrina's pulls the Zoroark into the active, that could be huge. Because like, this guy won't be doing max damage. If anything, around like 140 to 160. If I attack with this Butterfree, this guy's taking 40 damage from Sableye, keep in mind. So there's a high chance that this guy will get knocked out next turn. We have 5 cards left. Okay, this is where it gets very scary. Which is why, I mean, you could run 2 copies of Zoroark and Zorua. But the issue with that, if you're leading with Zorua in the early game, then it's going to be hard for you to win. You know, I'm going to do it. Why not? I'm doing 80 damage this turn. This is not looking good. So Butterfree is dead this turn. I have 5 cards left, but I believe in the harder cards. I'm going to pull Zoroark. Look at that. Just like that. I had faith the whole time. So this guy is doing, for one thing, he can one-shot Sableye. Don't surrender, please. Doing 220. Let it happen. Just like that. That is Zoroark in a nutshell. Requires a very precise setup and can be rather slow. That's pretty much what this card is. What it dials down to. Alright, next battle, once again going second and leading with Caterpie. In 2 turns, we can evolve into Butterfree. I love this Pokemon. I love this line overall. Butterfree, Metapod, and Caterpie. In my opinion, this is like the most solid line. Because Caterpie is amazing with the ability. Metapod's amazing, able to do 30 damage, able to one-shot a lot of babies. And Butterfree is just very solid overall as well. Probably the weakest link, but still pretty decent damage for the energy requirement. I'll copycat next turn. I'm just going to do this. I'm just going to ram. Next turn we can evolve into Butterfree, as well as potentially a Metapod. Okay, GG. That was a very fast battle. Opponent removes Friggin' Force. But we can one-shot with Butterfree. Okay. These things do happen. The whole Butterfree line comes in clutch. Zoroark wouldn't be as powerful if it weren't for Butterfrees. Once again, leading with Zoroark. This is somewhat manageable, especially if you can get Metapod out, as well as even better Butterfree. Okay, very straightforward. So we got our whole bench pretty much built. Klefki, just in case my opponent does place a Poketool. Nice, we got Krikro as well. So this is huge. Pokeball. Setting our deck. We have 9 cards left. Opponent has 11. There's a joke there. I'm not going to say it. Run around. Caterpie into active. Next turn, we should be able to evolve into Butterfree if this Caterpie doesn't get knocked out. Okay, this is amazing. So Metapod is out. Just like this. Evolve into Butterfree. We could quick go extract the Caterpie in the bench, getting our second copy of Metapod out. Evolve into Zorua and attack. So this is an amazing hand. The main issue is that my opponent can easily knock out Butterfree, especially if they sub into Miraidon this turn. Miraidon should be doing 120 damage. So Butterfree should be able to survive. We have Cyrus as well, just to get rid of that Oricorio. Because Oricorio is the biggest threat. Miraidon, obviously Zoroark can one-shot. Butterfree is on the brink of life right now. PC Lady as well, but I mean at this point it doesn't really serve much of a purpose. At this point, just Cyrus or Oricorio, get that guy out of here. Feed Zoroark and attack. This is actually amazing. So opponent copycats, sure. Miraidon's doing 180. Very daunting. But keep in mind, after this turn, if my opponent knocks out Butterfree, Zoroark is doing 140. And let's say my opponent Giant Capes. To like prevent that, prevent Miraidon from getting one-shotted, I have Klefki to remove that Giant Cape. So just like this, GG. I mean, you could do max damage, sure, opponent concedes, but there's gonna be a lot of scenarios where 140 is definitely enough, especially paired with Klefki to remove Giant Capes and stuff like that. Hey, it's too early, man. I don't think Hisuian Zoroark sucks. Definitely not the worst. I feel like we've seen a lot, like, we've definitely seen worse EXs in the past. I kind of like the ability, but the main issue is the energy generation. 2 Metapods in our hand. So keep in mind, Quickrow won't take into effect if your evolution Pokemon are in your hand. So luckily we pulled both of them. That's nice. You'll have to see that. So it'll take us 2 turns until we can get Butterfree. Okay. Caterpie, Klefki, Copycat, Zoroark. Let's just do this. Next turn we can Copycat. Subs into Fido? Oh, it's because of... Okay. They tried to do Electric Generator and they conceded. Okay, alright, last battle, once again going second. Hand is not too bad. Once again, having a Metapod in our hand is not too ideal. Because again, Quick Growth won't take into effect if you have both Metapods in your hand. Okay, getting Metapod out. Perfect, just like this. Hopefully we can pull a Zora, Pokeball. Perfect, nice. So in 4 turns, Hisuian Zoroark can start attacking. It's gonna take a while, but this should be fine. So for now, just attack with Metapod, next turn evolve into Butterfree, and just keep on feeding this spiteful fox Pokemon. Okay, opponent evolves into Grovyle, subs it out into Furfrou. Evolve into Zoroark, Butterfree. This will be amazing if you can get Copycat our next turn. So only doing 40 onto Furfrou. Okay, opponent evolves into Mega Sceptile EX. Please give me, at this point, a Butterfree. Be pretty nice. Another Professor. Just pop it off. Okay, opponent actually subs into Pheromosa, chipping onto Zora, which is not good because I'm pretty sure we get Copycat. Okay, we got Peace Lady, okay. Keep in mind there is one particular Poncho. This is why particular Poncho comes in clutch, so that your opponent can't do this. So we shall see. There's a high chance we'll die next turn. Opponent has 4 cards in their deck. If they have Cyrus in their hand, it actually might be over because of Pheromosa. Yeah, at this point, this is all we could really do. Not able to one-shot Pheromosa, which is why, I mean, Butterfree is a nice stage 2. But the damage could be better, in my opinion. With that being said, I wouldn't be surprised if Butterfree gets replaced with a much better Butterfree card later on. Opponent subs into Mega Sceptile. No Cyrus, please. No Cyrus, no Cry. Cyrus, okay. That is rough. So yeah, once again, we have Protected Poncho in our deck, but depending on RNG, it's going to be hard for you to get that out. We definitely needed it in this battle. But yeah, that was the Hisuian Zoroark EX deck showcase. Actually, hold up. It's not over, but it's pretty much over. Okay. Why not, Butterfree? You go crazy. Klefki, I don't know. You just keep on doing you. Just like that, opponent draws their whole hand. Greninja is out, but on the bright side, they can't attack Klefki because of Poncho. So we're protecting Klefki. The main downside is that we're gonna lose this turn. Like, yeah, Sceptile sweeps anyone on my board. And yeah, that was the Butterfree Hisuian Zoroark EX deck showcase. And yeah, that was the deck showcase. Hopefully you guys did enjoy. Overall, a very promising deck, but the main issue is energy ramp. Of course, this deck doesn't really have any energy support, so given Hisuian Zoroark EX's energy requirement, it's going to take you at least 3 or even 4 turns until this anime edgelord can attack. The weakest link is definitely Zoroark. Looking at Butterfree, Caterpie, and Metapod, I can very much see these cards paired with other decks as well. More so Caterpie and Metapod. Butterfree, I wouldn't be surprised if this card gets replaced for a much better Butterfree, or even Butterfree EX if you go down that line. But yeah, just briefly looking at Caterpie, amazing ability. Going first, your second turn going first, you could evolve into Butterfree, which is amazing. Looking at Metapod, once again, as I mentioned in the video, Ram is amazing, doing 30 damage, able to one-shot a lot of baby Pokemon. The only baby Pokemon that can survive an attack from Metapod without Giant Cape or Starting Plains is, of course, Munchlax, since Munchlax does have 50 HP, somewhat tanky. Depending on how fast-paced your opponent's deck is, there's going to be a lot of times where you just can't get this guy out and attacking. It can definitely outspeed you. Keep in mind, Butterfree is amazing, but HP is rather frail. So if you want, instead of, let's say, 2 copies of Pokeball, you could replace one of the Pokeballs for a Leaf Cape, just so that this guy could tank an attack from Pokemon such as Hydreigon. And yeah, looking at the deck list, overall, I'd rate it B tier. Solid B, kind of leaning to B minus, because once again, just no energy ramp. This deck has no energy ramp, and looking at Grass type specifically, once again, not much ramp. There's really only LEAFEON EX, but keep in mind, LEAFEON EX can only give energy to Grass type Pokemon, so Hisuian Zora and Hisuian Zoroark won't benefit from that buff. Overall, has a lot of potential, but is way too slow, in my opinion. But yeah, that's the video. Once again, hopefully you guys did enjoy. Make sure to like and subscribe. Really does help me out tremendously, both mentally and physically, as I always say. As always, expect more Pokemon Pocket content in the near future. I should be getting out a tournament report sometime soon, 1 to 2 days from the time I'm uploading this video. So yeah, please stay tuned. And yeah, with that being said, I'll see you guys on my next video. Peace.